Inshallah, in today's lesson, we will be talking about the issue of debt and calculating zakat. Now, a person has wealth worth £15,000 upon which zakat is payable. However, the same person also has debts upon himself of £15,000. Now, at the end of his zakat year, if he has £15,000 of wealth upon which zakat is payable, but he also has £15,000 worth of debt upon him, this person will not pay any zakat at all. Why? Because after calculating the amount that you have, then you subtract your debt away from that balance. So again, in this example, a person had £15,000 upon which zakat was payable, but he also had £15,000 worth of debt upon him. So after calculating his zakat at the end of the year, once he has the total balance, he will deduct, he will subtract his debt from that balance. Now, after subtracting the debt from the balance, if he has wealth which is according to the amount of nisab. So if he has wealth which is according to the nisab or more, then he will give 2.5%. If he has less than the nisab, then he won't give any zakat for that year. Now there's two types of debt. This is where people get confused. There's two types of debt. One type of debt is that which does not have to be paid in installments. Now, for example, I borrowed £5,000 of a friend. Now, we didn't set an agreement that I'm going to pay you back in monthly installments. No. My friend can come and ask for this money back from me at any time. So when I'm calculating my zakat, after I've calculated the final balance, I will deduct this £5,000. So the first type of debt is where there's no set agreement that you're going to pay back in installments. The person, whoever lent you money can come back at any time and ask for his money back. So you'll deduct that amount from your balance at the end of your zakat year. The second type of debt is which is paid in installments. Now this is normally the bank loans and the mortgages that we take, the conventional mortgages that we take. Number one, it is a sin to take a loan or a mortgage from a bank. Why? Because a person is dealing in interest. Nevertheless, for example, a person has taken a £50,000 loan from the bank and he has agreed to pay the bank back in installments. So when you're calculating your zakat at the end of the year, once you've got your final balance at the end of your zakat year, now what you will do is you won't subtract £50,000 from that balance because you have £50,000 worth of debt. No, you calculate, because you're paying in installments, you'll calculate how much you pay in 1 year. Now, for example, if you've took out a loan of £50,000 from the bank, which you are going to pay back over the course of 10 years. So every year you will be paying £5,000 back to the bank. So when you're going to deduct your debt from your total balance, you'll only deduct what you pay back to the bank over the 12 months, which is £5,000. So after deducting £5,000, if the wealth that you have, if the total balance is equal to or more than the nisab, then you will give zakat. If it is not, then you will not give zakat. Now you got to remember one thing. Your zakat anniversary date will stay the same every year unless your balance hits zero. If during the course of the year your balance hits zero, then your zakat year has collapsed. Then the next time you become owner of nisab again, then your zakat year will start. Make a note down on the calendar. But sometimes what happens is at the end of the zakat year, if you don't have that amount which is equal to or more than the nisab, a person thinks, you know what, my zakat year is collapsed. Yeah? So, so what he noted down, he crosses that out. No, your zakat year will stay the same, but you'll just calculate it the next year. Even though if at the end of your zakat year, you have your total balance is less than the nisab, even though you won't give zakat, that zakat day, that will be your anniversary day. That will always be your anniversary day. Unless your money hits zero. No, you become bankrupt, for example, you have no money at all whatsoever. Only then, the next time you become the owner of nisab, will your zakat year start again. So just a quick recap in this lesson is, there's two types of debt. One debt is that you haven't agreed when to pay it back, you haven't agreed to pay back in installments, the person can come at any time to ask for his money back. So at the end of your zakat year, you will just deduct that amount from the balance. So you'll deduct your debt from the balance, from the overall balance. If after deducting the debt from your balance, if you have wealth which is equal to or more than the nisab, you'll give 2.5% of that in nisab. If not, you won't give any zakat that year. Now the second type of debt is which is normally paid in installments. And you've agreed, for example, with the bank, that you've took a £50,000 mortgage out from the bank and you've agreed to pay the bank over the course of 10 years. So that's £5,000 every year. So at the end of your zakat year, you will only deduct the debt of £5,000 for that year. You won't deduct £50,000. Because you're paying installments, you only take what you pay in that whole year to the bank. So you'll deduct £5,000. And then once after deducting the debt of £5,000 from your overall balance at the end of your zakat year, if you have wealth left which is equal to the nisab or more, you'll give zakat. If not, then you won't give any zakat at all. So bear in mind, there's two types of debt. One is, person can come back for it at any time, and this doesn't have to be paid back in installments. The second one is, you've agreed to a contract and you've agreed to pay back in installments. So then you'll only calculate what you pay back during that 1 year, during the whole year, and you'll deduct that amount away from your total balance.